Game week 1 of FPL was crazy. There are so many players we need to analyse. Let's go take a look. Disclaimer, I am not an expert, this is just my opinion. In the watch list video, we are going to go through all the relevant players in the upcoming game week and discuss them. We begin with the defenders, and these two hull defenders can be grouped together. Both double-digit hauls, both 4 million, both, for some reason, yellow flagged. Guys, if I see any of you bringing in whole defenders, I'm going to find a way to block you. I don't even know if you can block people on YouTube, but I will find a way. Okay, you do not want to bring in these guys. They're not going to get you any points in the future. I don't care they got loads of points in game week 1. I don't care they're only 4 million. Get them gone. And if you need me to explain my point, then you definitely need to keep watching this video for more advice. Next up, we have GW2. I never knew this guy's first name until I made this graphic. I think it's a pretty sick first name. Bijol is one Leeds defender. Many Leeds defenders are good options. You got Muharemovic, you got Justin, you got other ones too. The ones I've just named are all really good Leeds defenders. They're all 5 million. They're all good for defcons, and on the off chance could get a goal involvement. Leeds, generally speaking, have some decent fixtures coming up. Some games where you could see clean sheets arising. The reason I've picked Bijol to be in this graph is because he is the one who turned up last game week with the defcons, with the points. He did better than any other Leeds defender. I do think players like Muharemovic could in the long run outdo Bijol or Justin, but it's a coin toss at this moment in time. We can only go off one game week of data, and right now Bijol is the best one, but could easily change. As you can see for De Kuiper, I've not put avoid or buy or keep. This guy is going to get Mitomed very soon. De Kuiper, he is a 4.5 million defender playing as a left winger. His underlying data was ridiculous last game week. Why shouldn't you buy him? Because in a few weeks' time, there's a good chance we see him relegated to the bench because he is playing in place of Mitoma. He does not start ahead of Mitoma, and Mitoma is getting close to a return. The issue is we don't know exactly when. All we know is that he's getting closer. It's very hush-hush. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Brighton are kind of irrelevant. Either way, I don't want to call this guy an avoid because generally speaking, like, he is good to own for the next few game weeks. The issue is if you buy him and Mitoma's back in game week 3 or 4, you've just wasted a transfer, really. Now, we're talking about 3 Arsenal defenders. I know some of you are seeing avoid by Ben White's name and getting offended. Just wait till I get there. We have Gabriel, first of all, costing 8 million. He got 5 points, and I know this is a disappointment comparing him to Ben White, Ricardo Calafiori, who got more. But if you compare Gabriel to Haaland and Bruno, it doesn't seem so bad. Gabriel is still definitely a hold. Do not sell Gabriel for another defender. You know, Aston Villa don't look that great, and the fixtures that follow, you wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal kept a clean sheet in all these games. I mean, if they kept it in every single one, you would be surprised. That's a lot of clean sheets in a row. But if they kept a clean sheet home to Chelsea or away to Sunderland or away to Brighton, you wouldn't exactly bat an eye because it's Arsenal, you know. All clean sheet worthy games. Gabriel is once again a defcon threat and a goal threat. Ben White, good player to hold, good player to own for game week 1, and a good player to buy if you're on an early wild card. The one caveat with Ben White is the fact Timber will be back in a few weeks. Sort of like the De Kuiper situation, Ben White is very temporary. Jurriën Timber is obviously the favourite to be played, and if you're playing a long-term game and you want to transfer in Ben White, be prepared to have to sell him again in a few weeks' time when Timber is back. Like I said, if you have him, definitely worth holding until Timber's back. And if you're on wildcard 3 or 4, then I do see a reason to hold Ben White there as well. Calafiori does not have an immediate threat to minutes like Ben White. Calafiori also had a decent amount of underlying data too. He also got an assist, but no bonus points. To me, it just seems like he's an all-round better version of Ben White, not because he's got better underlying data or more defcons or more points, just because you can bring him in for the same price and not worry about him being rotated later on in the future. I mean, sure, the odd game will come where, when Champions League is about and Arsenal need to rotate, Calafiori may miss a Premier League game, but you can cross that bridge when you come to it. Right now, in my opinion, if you want an Arsenal defender, Calafiori is the one. Into the midfielders now. We begin the list with 2 Brentford players instead of 2 Hull City players. Slightly higher quality here. Keane Lewis Potter. He scored a goal last game week. He got a decent amount of points. He was even close to defcons, but I think he is an avoid. Let's get the facts straight. Keane Lewis Potter is a midfielder in FPL, which is why he's on the midfielders graph. He is 5.5 million, quite cheap, but he is playing as a left back. That is not what you want from your FPL midfielder. Yes, he got a big chance last game week and he scored it. He did a good job. He got a decent amount of points. But this guy is just a midfielder who's going to be playing left back. It's not what you want, especially compared to Sangare, who costs the same price, is great for Defcons, clearly has some sort of creative potential. Even though he only got 0.37 expected assists last game week, he still picked up 2 assists. Which, let's be honest, yeah, it's quite fortunate. On a different day, he wouldn't have got assists from either of those chances he created. But he's shown he is a player who can hit Defcons and pick up goal involvements in games where Brentford score a few goals. For $5.5 million, that is sensational, and I don't think Lewis Potter gives you anywhere near that value. Ryan Shirky is by far the most interesting player in this video. As you can see, he averages 6.67 assists per 90. Guys, I don't know about you. That sounds like an essential player to me. Unfortunately, after one game week, the per 90 data can look a little dodgy, and here is a prime example. Man City didn't score a goal until Ryan Shirky came on the pitch. Shirky came on and got 2 assists in just 27 minutes. Why didn't he start? Because we saw this all last season. Ryan Shirky was getting assist after assist after assist. He seems like a great player, and Man City's creative output, you know, altogether, he's the only one. Obviously, that's very reactionary. It's just one game week. You know, there could be more players that create goals, but Ryan Shirky seems like the man. The issue is he didn't start, which is why I've put weight next to his name. Because if he starts away to Palace and you think, okay, he's proved himself a worthy starter, he's going to start regularly from now on, you can bring him in home to Coventry in game week 3. So monitor Ryan Shirky at the mid-price midfielder range, because he could be a hidden gem. Cole Palmer, the guy nearly hit Defcons. The guy had okay underlying data. He overperformed it. He scored a nice goal from a difficult angle. The assist he got, you would sort of expect it to be an assist. So the 0.23 expected assist here may not be super accurate if you watch the goal, but it's also determined by where he picks up the ball, and to be honest, he turned an average situation into a good situation, which is the type of player Cole Palmer is when he wants to play well. But I wouldn't recommend buying just yet. Let's be honest, all of you playing this game, realistically, the only way you can get Palmer in game week 2 is by selling Bruno Fernandes if you have him. The only other option is Saka, but selling Saka to Palmer is quite sideways. If I were you, I would wait until game week 4. Home to Brighton is a pretty good fixture, and Chelsea will likely score in this game, but it's not guaranteed. Game week 3 is a guaranteed blank in my opinion. When I see someone play away to Arsenal, I see a guaranteed blank. I'm honest with you guys. So you may as well wait until game week 4 when they play home to Hull City, and these Chelsea players could arguably be triple captaincy options if Hull are as bad as they were in the Championship. On to the 2 Man United players, following on from Palmer. Home to Ipswich, guys. You've got 2 Premier League proven attackers. Both have some sort of set pieces. You cannot sell them. You just can't. I know they had an awful game away to easily the worst team in the league. It was embarrassing. As a Man United fan, you know, where's my badge? There, you know. As a Man United fan, I feel embarrassed, guys. It wasn't a good game to watch. I had triple Manchester United and they all blanked. One of them being my captain. But home to Ipswich is still a very easy game despite their performance against Sunderland. Sunderland are a fairly easy team. And while Brian and Burmo and Bruno had a stinker, that happens sometimes. It does happen, and it shouldn't put you off owning them. Finally, we have this freaking demigod, Jack Hindlewood. Per 90, his expected goals was 2.01. I think it was 1.4 something expected goals in 60 minutes. That's still ridiculous. We saw it last season. He was picking up high expected goals game after game. His issue was he wasn't finishing them. Like, he was scoring now and then, getting the odd assist. But it seems like over summer he's been practicing his finishing, because he got 2 big chances and scored them both. This could be a massive hidden gem on our hands if he keeps this up. He doesn't need to do much different from last season aside from actually finish the big chances he's getting, which isn't a tall order. The next fixture, obviously, it's away to Chelsea. It's not great, but Chelsea conceded 2 goals against Fulham, so they could concede a couple against Brighton too. Who knows? On to forwards now, guys. I'm actually amazed I managed to find 7 forwards I wanted to talk about. First off, we have Barry. Now, Barry is a wait. Away to Bournemouth, home to Man United, away to Tottenham. Do you want to transfer in a player ahead of these fixtures? Not really. But the Everton striker spot doesn't seem so competitive. It seems like Barry is the guy. It's worth keeping an eye on Barry, because when he plays home to Ipswich, the game that follows is against Hull City. Those are 2 very easy fixtures consecutively, and you want to own Everton attackers for those 2 fixtures. I know it's a long way away, don't get me wrong, we're talking nearly a month in advance, but you need to keep an eye on Barry, and even Beto in case he takes Barry's spot, because you want to own one of these strikers, whoever's starting, when you get to game week 5 and game week 6. Or you could just be intelligent and play Haaland, João Pedro and Calvert-Lewin, or Isak, you know, the standard strikers. Havertz seems okay. His underlying data wasn't great, but he found himself in some good positions. With the fixtures not being sensational and Gyökeres lurking around the corner, it doesn't seem incredibly wise to bring in Kai Havertz, but I definitely wouldn't call him an avoid at the same time. It's definitely something to watch. And the whole of weird differentials gets even deeper. Yoane Wissa is here. Wissa didn't get any points last game week. In fact, his shot map was embarrassing. It really was, but we need to pay attention to the key points here. Wissa played 90 minutes and got 0.94 expected goals. This is a very promising sign. Once again, you shouldn't buy him right away. He didn't score a goal and he's away to Tottenham next game week. But after that, the fixtures get quite good. And at 6 million, Wissa could be very good value if he's still racking in the expected goals and playing regular minutes. All he needs to do is finish the chances, which for some players is very hard, but Wissa, generally speaking, when he played for Brentford, was pretty good at it. Above him, we get onto what I would call the big four. First off, we have Isak. As an owner, I'm furious. 1.03 expected goals, 2 big chances and nothing to show for it. What's even worse, the guy isn't even on penalties. We saw in the 100th minute, Liverpool get a penalty. Isak and Szoboszlai are on the pitch. Isak doesn't take it. Some people are saying he didn't take it because he wasn't feeling confident or because he was playing against his former club. I don't care. If he's not taking it in that situation, he's not taking them, full stop. And it's very unfortunate for us Isak owners, but he is still the only striker I would actually recommend any of you buy this game week, even though it's quite unrealistic because there's no one around his price point. Liverpool have the best short-term fixture run in the game. The next 3 fixtures are very good, and Isak is clearly the focal point of the expected goals. And I know he didn't score any last game week, but we know how good of a finisher he can be. On to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They played a tough game away to Forest. You know, they won the game 1-0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin didn't do a lot. He wouldn't normally score from a low XG chance anyway, but the fixtures are pretty good for Leeds. You see they've got a few green fixtures coming up. These are all very borderline green fixtures. Like, you could debate home to Brentford being a grey one, but I stand by the Newcastle and Palace fixture being green. 3 home games in the next 4. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin, how many goal involvements last season? What, 16, 17? He did pretty well, and the Leeds team has only gotten stronger at 6 million. Just seems like a great player to keep in your team regardless of the blank last game week. João Pedro, obviously a keep. You don't need me to tell you that, but we are once again seeing a repeat of last season where he is massively overperforming the underlying data with the expected assists, and his XG overperformance is still very high. He did this a lot last season. It was getting to the point where I thought it wasn't luck, it was genuinely something sustainable. But I'm telling you, Ronaldo or Messi could not maintain this level of XG and expected assist over performance. I wouldn't expect it. Either way, still a great player to own, and those who went without were punished poorly. Just keep in mind, João Pedro, he's been getting fortunate towards the end of last season with his big hauls, and even as an owner, someone who isn't salty about his game week 1 haul, he got fairly fortunate. Still, if you don't own this guy in game week 4, you're absolutely doomed, and I personally wouldn't be eager to bring him in game week 2 because in game week 3, he plays away to Arsenal. Very similar situation to Cole Palmer. And finally, we got big boy Erling Haaland. Now, I don't own Erling Haaland. If you do, you should keep him. If you don't, you shouldn't really buy him because who are you going to sell for Haaland, you know? 2011 Thierry Henry? I don't even know if Henry played for Arsenal in 2011. I'm just making something up. I'm trying to be sarcastic. Haaland got the expected goals. It's not like City are trash and he's never going to score again. Haaland did sometimes have these performances where he racked up the expected goals and didn't finish them. At 15.5 million, it's not what you want, but it's what Haaland's been doing the last few years. It's what any striker does. Sometimes you don't have a great game. Anyway, guys, that is it from me. If you made it this far, you are greatly appreciated. Make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next video.